a lot of Browns fans are excited for OBJ, myself included. So do you expect him to start week 1? What is your opinion or view of OBJ? And do you think that we'll see first half of the year Baker Mayfield, or that, more loose, open-minded, who he can throw to, Baker Mayfield, from the second half? And, why do you think that, the OBJ experience hasn't paid off?
Well, I honestly think that OBJ this year will be like a woman who has just got divorced from her man.
Wow. Well, that's exciting.
Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when a guy splits up with his girl, he drinks too much and he hangs out more with his friends. He goes to clubs and other outdoor venues and plays a lot more video games. Whereas a woman will break up from her man. She'll lose 10 pounds. She'll buy new shoes and clothes. She'll do her hair differently. And when her former beau sees her in public, he goes, "Damn, she's looking fine." The thought process being, look at what you gave up and look at me now. Mm-hmm. We all know that OBJ's time in Cleveland has regressed. He's had subpar years. He is no longer drafted in the first round of all fantasy leagues. Look at all his Instagram videos on his rehab and tell me you don't see a dude who is on a mission from God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's funny, because before the show we were talking about the girls taking their Instagram photos from just the right angle with the right amount of makeup and the filters just so the Instagram account looks really good. So you're right. That is exactly what OBJ's doing. I mean, he's posting those videos on there to say, look at me. Look how good I look right now.
Yeah. What Browns fans must remember is that Cleveland is not a passing team. They want to cram the ball down your throat, and every single offensive lineman they have that are starters and backups are great run blockers first and foremost. Jedrick Wills is a 4-year starter at Alabama, was a run blocker on a team that pounded the ball. Why did Andrew Berry sign Jack Conklin? Because he blocked for Derrick Henry and they ran folks over. While with the Giants, they ran some and threw some. The Browns run a lot and throw only when they need to. And a lot of those throws are to tight ends. So receivers on the Browns aren't going to get those catches like with other ball clubs. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, I do. 100%.
So OBJ is in a fighting battle. He is in a position that he's not going to get the ball in an offense that chunks the ball quite a bit. So, of course, his numbers are going to be down. But now that he's had an injury, a serious injury, he's already come back 3 months earlier than he should have. That's usually a 12-month injury, and he's only been out 9 months. I think he'll be ready opening day, and I think he's on a mission to prove that, yes, I'm still the darling of the league. Yes, I'm still what I used to be. And, well, let's look at the hard numbers. In 2014, in his rookie year with the Giants, he caught 91 balls and was targeted 130 times. By his third season in New York, he had 101 receptions with 169 targets. Now, his first year in Cleveland, where he was relatively injury-free, just 77 receptions and 124 targets. And that is taking into account that Jarvis Landry is wanting the same amount of balls thrown his way as well. And he made the Pro Bowl in OBJ's first season in Cleveland.
I think I kind of have an opinion on the OBJ thing not paying the expected dividends yet for Cleveland. I think if you look at it, his first year in Cleveland, it was with a Freddie Kitchens-led offense. Statistically, he had over 1,000 yards. Jarvis had over 1,000 yards. Nick Chubb rushed for over 1,000 yards. So on paper, it looked like we had a good offense, but everybody who watched that team knew that we were stale and stagnant, and we only scored points and got yards because we had talent. There was no scheme involved. Nothing like what we have now with Stefanski. So he came in handicapped by a terrible offensive scheme by Freddie Kitchens. The next season, before he gets injured, he's playing with a brand new coach, a quarterback who's in another new system. All this talk about how Baker was better without Odell. I think it's less to do with Odell and more to do with the fact that Baker just was finally getting comfortable in the offense. His fourth offense he had to learn in 3 years. So I think
I agree 100%.
So I think by seeing I think this is going to be the first time we see OBJ come into the Browns team healthy, with a Baker who's comfortable in a system and a coach who understands how to use his players. So I'm looking for a big year out of OBJ. Maybe not 150 catches or whatever, but I'm thinking he's going to have a very solid year.
Yeah, and something you said a little bit ago, Barry, reminded me of a topic I think we just mentioned maybe one of the last 2 episodes, but as far as OBJ in the run blocking game, how is he as far as run blocking, Barry, from your perspective?
Oh, he's excellent.
Okay.
He's absolutely excellent. Now, he's not Jarvis Landry excellent.
Jarvis with those crackback blocks, baby.
Yeah, he's not Rashard Higgins excellent, but he's a good blocker. He knows how to sustain blocks. And what I mean by sustain is hold somebody's shoulders pad. But that's what you do in today's game.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to some guys I did an interview with offensive guard Dan Fike, which will be coming out in August. And he told me that as long as you kept your elbows tight to you, you could hold on to a guy's shoulder pads. But once you extend that arm, then it was automatic holding. He said, but today they get away with a lot of that. Well, that's every player hold on to everybody's shoulder pads. But you have to be able to sustain that block, and OBJ does that.
I think it says a lot about OBJ. He gets a lot of flack. People try to say he's not a good teammate in the media and stuff like that. But you have a guy who's considered a star wide receiver, and he still goes out there and blocks. A lot of times your star wide receivers, they don't want any part of blocking.
Well, every receiver is look at me.
Yeah. And it has been that way for forever.
Yeah, forever. Every receiver is look at me, and that's no different. He is just another one on those lists. At his time with the Giants, you could put him on the list with T.O. and Ocho Cinco and Randy Moss, and all of those guys are look at me and pay attention to me and look what I'm doing and where's the camera.